I have a strong view on this one, which is
Yeah.
I call it my concentrated orange juice
Okay, I'm
analogy
listening.
or theory that
Yeah.
I think the best things AI can do are the things like a real user generated story is like concentrated orange juice that you can like water down, you can spread out on all of your channels. Like you can
Oh,
use it
interesting.
on social and your ads. Like it's an
Yeah.
amazing like killer story
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
just scales across everything. But when you create a user or an AI generated one, it's a weak version of that. So when
It's
you
already
spread
watered
it
down.
down and
Yeah.
you water it down to everything on all these other channels, it doesn't work. It's not punchy. It doesn't feel real, and you're ruining like the trust, and then you're burning these channels. So
Yes.
the thing that I started with LinkedIn that they love so much was that they had put in some things in place, and they're still trying to put it in place today for AI to like not just burn this down, because if
Yeah.
everybody posts spam and fake stuff on LinkedIn, nobody goes to read anymore.
Hey guys, what's up? Jeremy, the online ads guy here, the founder of Digital Goliath Marketing. Welcome back to another episode of Marketing AI for SMEs. If you're doing between 300,000 to 2 mil, this show is created for you. Today I got to sit with Mike Montague of Avenue 9 Marketing. So this guy's got his channel, his YouTube channel is called Avenue 9 AI Marketing. Is very similar to where I want to go. He's a lot more ahead. He's 93,000 subscribers. Not just that as a vanity metric, but he interviews a lot of big stars in the AI space. Just cutting edge, on the bleeding edge, just on the very, very frontier of AI developments. So I wanted to just get a take on from him on the buckets of people that he's coming through, what they're thinking about, that kind of thing. And it was a really good conversation. I'm just going to read off some of the stuff that we did talk about. Yeah, so first of all, we got into the background, over 25 years in the game. He downplays it a lot. He doesn't look 50, but he said he's nearly 50, but he's been in the game for a very long time. We talked about when we spoke about this thing, UGC, New York just passed a law about synthetic UGC that you had to state it, how it's impacting like AI generated UGC. We started talking about how PR and what's current viral content versus steady trust building. And then we talked a little bit about the agency. But a lot of the things we talked about is it matters to the smaller businesses. If you're on the ground, you're not really sure what's currently working, and you can't be bothered just sitting through all the information that's out there. And you go, well, let's distill it down. This is the conversation I feel like you should listen to. Guys, welcome back to another episode of the show. I'm with Mike Montague, who's been in this game for 25 years. I just was just talking to him about that. And he hosts a podcast, a human first AI marketing, right?
Yeah.
And as a website, the business is avenue9.com. And, I'm really glad to have him here because he has the podcast is where I want to be with my one, because it's got a lot of AI and you've interviewed so many great aspects, experts, and you have like such a wide array of guests that has come in. But first, let's start talking about your 25 years, dude. I didn't even know because you didn't.
Yeah, I always say like it was a long story. There's kind of three threads in my career that are interesting. One is I started designing websites when I was in high school, which it was probably not that impressive now with Squarespace and stuff, but 25 years or so ago, that was a big deal because you had to hand code it with HTML and stuff. So I got into that, but I didn't want to be a nerd. I wanted to be cool and be on the radio. So I was a DJ and I hosted karaoke shows and was a top 40 DJ. I was Romeo on Mix 93.3, Kansas City's #1 hit music station. And had a blast with that, but that also didn't pay very well. And my dad was a professional sales trainer, so I kind of moved from radio into advertising, into sales, and then into public speaking and corporate training. And that's kind of where I've spent the rest of my career, is doing some combination of all of those, either building websites for the radio stations or broadcasting for the sales training company. I hosted a really popular podcast called How to Succeed for 9 years, which had over 4 million downloads and over like 700 episodes, and was super fun. And just kind of swirl all three of those together.
So this like this podcast, like your fascination with AI and how you get into it now, it's not your first rodeo. Like you've
Right,
been
and
around.
there's a couple of correlations there too. One is, I wrote a book that was published by LinkedIn about how to use social media for salespeople.
Yep.
And that book was really about like not spamming people. It was like,
Yeah.
look, just because we can reach more people on LinkedIn doesn't mean we should. We shouldn't just join 50 groups, add everybody in the suggested connections every single day, and just spam the heck out of people. Like, how do we really use it to start better conversations and build our business? So when AI came out, I thought, oh no, this is the same thing, but like on steroids. This is
Can happen again.
You could spam 1 million people now, not just your connections or just post 100 times a day, but you could post 1,000 times a day or 1 million posts a day if you wanted. Like, this is really a crazy way. So I felt like I had to take a stand and say, no, like, how do we do this the right way with a human first approach? And still, I love all these tools. Like I said, I've been a tech nerd since I was in high school, and maybe before that. I may have just been born that way, Jeremy.
Yeah.
But I said like, let's use these tools for good, not evil. Right.
Yeah, nice. And I was watching your first episode, like 21st, well, for this show on the 21st of December.
Yeah.
He started off talking about the missing context. Well, we're talking about AI, right? He said, well, there's a missing context, there's a lack of creativity and ethical concerns, right? So to me, as an advertiser, and that's who's in the game, we have to use these tools. Wherever ads go, they mess everything up. That's just how it is, right? And the thing I like interviewing about people that's been in the game for so long, because you came in before the Facebook Pixel, right? Before Facebook Pixel, so they were doing cents. Like Google cost per click was like cents. It wasn't $20 a click, it was like cents.
Yeah, it was actually really easy now that I look back on it, and I'm kind of upset I didn't have more success. I had a lot of success and have made good money throughout my career and helped a lot of people along the way. I've had viral videos and good campaigns. I've launched products that did millions of dollars and all that stuff. But what's crazy about it now, I think, that is a struggle for me, and I'm excited to learn from you a little bit, is that like, it's so much harder. Everybody knows about it now. When I built the first website that had success was for a grocery store chain in Kansas City, and we would publish the coupons that would go in the Sunday newspaper. We put them up on Wednesday online, and like over 100,000 people a week would go and grab the coupons electronically, and they would print them off and then bring them into the store. Yeah. So when you think about that, like, that's the advertising that they were doing, was like in the newspaper to get people to go to the website and print the coupons early. Yeah. And it was massively successful. Yeah. And now with AI, I'm doing all kinds of like predictive analytics and machine learning and marketing automation to kind of just scratch the surface of getting those results.
100%. And I think that when I came in the game, because I only been in the game for about 9 years, right? So I was here before the Trump and Analytica thing, like the Cambridge Analytica thing that happened. Then they stopped all the targeting allowed. Before you can target like 400 people or whatever, right? Yeah. People who's into this area, and then you can just kind of target them. And then they took all of that stuff out. But I remember at that time, people were complaining how costly online advertising was. But in reality, like, they were doing these 5-day challenges or whatever. But in reality, they could have just spent millions and millions and then just kept on going. But now it is really expensive. So no, I don't really know how to answer that. But going back to, like, because the reason I brought that up is, like, I'm having kind of like trouble keeping up with how fast AI is moving. Right? Yeah. Like 2024 December, when you came up with the missing context, lack of creativity and ethical concerns, like, now that you've interviewed hundreds more people since that day, like, have you seen a shift in any way from those three things?
Not necessarily on those three things. I think Microsoft kind of just released what's supposed to be a secure version of OpenClaw agents today. So I just said a bunch of buzzwords there for anybody who doesn't know that. But basically, that's some of the security concerns. Like, Microsoft is really an enterprise software that they're not going to release something that they just spun up and vibe coded over the weekend. Like, it has to be really good. Yeah. But that's kind of the first secure AI thing available, and we're here like 3 years into AI now. The ethical concerns have not been addressed at all. They're still stealing artists' information. There's still a lot of bias in these information. When you use a tool like AI, it's predicting what the most popular kind of thing will be, or the most predictable answer is, which means like in America, that's a middle-aged white guy like me, right? That's they're gonna predict down the middle, and so that's the most common stereotype. Sort of. So what it does is it misses a lot of edge cases and stuff. And then the context is weird because there's kind of two buckets. And you started talking about it a little bit with advertising, but AI is trained on all of the world's information. So it means like it kind of knows everything, but it doesn't know which parts of that to apply to your business.
Yes.
And also that training was done like 3 to 6 months ago. So anything that's new and groundbreaking, it doesn't have the context for. And so if you're trying to do something new or novel or specific to your business or you know, relevant in a different sort of way, it hasn't gotten any better at that, really.
It hasn't got better. I don't know if you noticed this thing, and I just read it on LinkedIn, synthetic performers law, which is just got passed in New York 3 days ago, right? So synthetic performers, as in like if you are using AI and pretending to be human, you have to disclose it now.
Oh, great.
That's a good step.
That's another step in the right direction for the ethical stuff. And I talk about that a lot on my podcast, that I don't know why we would need to pretend to be a human. I saw a commercial selling coffee beans that had an AI generated spokesperson. And I knew it before they did put the fine print at the bottom of the TV commercial. But before I even saw that, I was like, I think this dude is AI. And you just get that uncanny kind of feeling.
Uncanny valley.
Why would you do that? There's an actor, and it was a middle-aged white guy. So it's like, we have plenty of those. Like, why wouldn't you just have an actor read the script? It doesn't make any sense.
So two things, I tell you why. The first thing is about uncanny valley. That's how newbie I am. Never heard of it until I watched your podcast just now. Never heard of it, right? Until you're talking to the 3D guy.
It's a great term,
but what's that guy's name? Thornton?
Yeah, Thornton, James Thornton.
Thornton. Yeah, James Thornton. So that's the first time I heard of it. And the second thing, I tell you why they're doing that to the AI with the middle-aged white guy is because advertisers want to test 16, 32 variations.
Right.
They want to just spaz out and then just get the hook that worked, and they want to multiply it, and that's why they want to do it.
That makes sense, and I think there are some use cases for that. For me, the best use cases, and that's a great one, is also though like, well, can we do it in different languages? Can we run the same commercial that works now and have that same person or that AI avatar speak, 27 different languages? The company that I work for before I started my company was in 27 countries and 19 languages, and I was the spokesperson. So I could only speak English. We had to have actors or trainers in the local market go reread the stuff that I would do.
That's a good use case.
So
that's a good
makes a lot of sense there.
But I think that because before, if you think about the UGC, because advertising, especially e-commerce, is all about UGC, right? UGC is the most trusted and all that. And I've been saying this on my podcast, is that when you have this AI stuff, and it speeds everything up, because UGC are people are like real ones are flaky. You need managers. You send them stuff. You never know when you're going to get the stuff back. You never know they're going to create something. And all of that problem is gone. So now they're selling 40 pieces of UGC content for $40 or whatever. It's AI created, but it looks pretty real. So to me, that kills the entire industry. Right? Well, whole vertical, right? And then people go do something else. They go, well, I don't know if that's AI, that's uncanny valley. I'm not gonna believe it. I'm gonna scroll past it. So I'd love to hear your view on that. Yeah,
I have a strong view on this one, which is I call it my concentrated orange juice analogy or theory that I think the best things AI can do are the things like a real user-generated story is like concentrated orange juice that you can water down. You can spread out on all of your channels. Like you can use it on social and your ads. Like it's an amazing killer story that just scales across everything. But when you create a user or an AI-generated one, it's a weak version of that. So when you
already
spread
watered
it down and you water it down to everything on all these other channels, it doesn't work. It's not punchy. It doesn't feel real, and you're ruining like the trust, and then you're burning these channels. So the thing that I started with LinkedIn that they love so much was that they had put in some things in place, and they're still trying to put it in place today for AI to like not just burn this down. Because if everybody posts spam and fake stuff on LinkedIn, nobody goes to read anymore. Everybody's posting, but nobody's reading anything, and it's all crap. You can't find anything good in there. And so now that whole channel is burnt for everyone.
And then
and that's what I'm afraid is going to happen. Not necessarily that user-generated content's going to go away, but that like that channel is going to become worthless because there's no way to stand out. If everybody has fake stuff, how are you any different than your competition?
Right. So I think people was always trying to move to the next thing, right? Because you've been in the game for 25 years. So people go, I think Reddit was a thing for whatever, then ads come to Reddit. And then
still popular for AEO. It's one of the biggest channels that's made a comeback. I think PR and other stuff is coming back too, but they're coming back for the reason that we were just talking about it, because there's real conversations there.
Correct.
And so it's like it's not fake. It's real people like saying good stuff and bad stuff about it. And PR or podcast interviews like this are great because they're real conversations 100%. And it's on other people's platforms. So, you know, I could create a video of myself and post it on my own YouTube channel. In fact, I often do. But AI and humans will only weight that with so much credibility because I'm the one saying it. But when I come up on your show, or if the New York Times says, hey, Mike knows about AI, now they go, whoa, that's a lot more credibility. There's a lot more trust from that. And I think that's what people are missing, is that the problem wasn't a lack of content. We already had too much content. I think the problem most businesses have is a lack of good content that resonates with people, that changes action and gets their attention.
Yeah, and that's the kind of like, we're going to move into the business side of things as well, like, because we want to offer practical advice, and I always get my guests here, and I'm always asking them the questions I'm fascinated in, but then we don't move on to the business thing. But before we move on to the business thing, just can we touch on like why you have the pod, why the pod is on? Like, do you put people in kind of buckets? Because some people will be like, oh, you know, I'm like for AI, I'm into, you know, I can get 9 bots to do all my SEO, I'm cost cutting. And then there's some people like, oh, you know, it's all human emotion, that kind of thing. Like, I
filter it a little bit. So I should have more people on that I disagree with. I don't find them as compelling. So what I try to do is find people that have the similar value of me, that are building human first stuff. But they're doing it in a completely different way. Like James that you mentioned that came on the show, it has the same philosophy, believes the same thing as me, that like humans are creative, they do cool things. Like we need to make content for humans and not robots and stuff. But he works in 3D like world building for video games and other stuff.
He's massive, that guy.
Has nothing to do with what I do.
But he's huge though, like what he's doing. He's 100% in agreement with you when he talks about when like a photo becomes too real, right? And he's talking about the Ready Player One. I know there's a different name company, but like he's talking about that stuff. Yet he's okay with the like the avatars.
So in his world, he wants, you know, computer graphics to feel realistic, so they're immersive, but not be tricking somebody that it is actually real. Right? Some of that happens now where people share clips of video games and they think that like, you know, we actually attacked a country or something that we didn't because it was a video game clip of a helicopter that looked real. And so I think those are interesting ethical concerns. But the point I made there is I bring in experts that are great at like data science. There was one lady that was really impressive that looks at like audience reactions. So you can play their commercial and use AI to see their micro expressions and their sentiment analysis and like get really cool audience reactions. That's deep. The whole spectrum of stuff. People doing really crazy automations and bots to like machine learning stuff is fascinating for me. And then
what's the other side of
doing
that?
Cool stuff in business.
But what's the other side of that? You're saying, look, you know, because your dad's a salesman, right? You can smell them from miles away, right? The people that's like, they have the talking points ready. You know, everything goes back to talking point. They have to, you know, drop their, you know, SEO keywords in or whatever. You must hate those, but you filter them
I
out.
try to avoid those. I can smell them from a mile away. I call it commission breath. They're trying to like.
never heard of it.
It makes you just step back. You're like, whoa, that's coming on a little strong.
Yeah.
I think that every once in a while, a few of those still make it on the show, and I just redirect them pretty quick to an interesting conversation. But
Sure.
I can see in their pitch and their website, like I do a little research before they come on, just like you do, and I can see whether their philosophy aligns and whether they're just trying to say like, hey, we can use AI agents to scrape 1 million emails and send these automatic custom messages to all of your prospects. And I go, great, what do you do tomorrow? Like if you send 1 million spam messages to everybody who could possibly buy my thing today, what do you do tomorrow? How does that work next month, next quarter, next year? That's not scalable. You're going to run out of humans in like a few days.
Correct. Yeah, I interviewed a guy a long time ago, and he explained to me, he said, look, all this content scaling stuff, like humans have the wallets. You're going to eventually have to write for humans and get humans to act on something. And, that's the kind of his premises as well. So in terms of business, we can end on the business side of things, because I would love people to understand more about your business and how you help them. And when we were doing the pre-interview, you were talking about viral content. And I didn't really understand it, because I said, why? Because in ads, everything lives forever. Like, I don't need things to go viral.
As long as you keep paying for it,
That's right. In organic, you do need things to kind of get traction and go viral. And you interview even PR guys and all that. So, tell us about the content part of it for your business.
Yeah, I think there are 3 buckets that you could put content into. There's the long-term stuff, which I think if you don't do, then the part about the ads is you have to keep paying for them.
That's right.
Right? And you're not really growing organically. The other thing is I get a lot of people that only grow organically, and they say, my business is 100% referrals. And I say, you're not trying hard enough. You need to call Jeremy, because imagine how fast you could grow or what you could do if you ran a few ads or did some marketing. But then there's viral, and viral feels like the holy grail because it's like a huge advertisement that you're not paying for. But that's not how it works. What I found, and I've had multiple things go viral and multiple clients go viral. One guy was a rapper that got like over 10 million views in the first week for a video that he dropped. And the record wasn't even for sale yet, because it was a new thing that he made up. His channel wasn't monetized. There was really nothing in it. It ended up, I don't know what it is today, but 50 million views. Crazy. And he basically made no money on it.
Right.
We tried to spin up some things and ways to like capture some of that value over time, but he missed it. And then like your chances of that happening again are so low that it's not a sustainable strategy. It's kind of like hitting the lottery. So what I think about with my content is like, those are nice little bumps. Like if I play the lottery every week, there's a better chance that I hit one of those. And there's different levels of viral, which just means like maybe some people in my audience share it. And 100 of the right people seeing a video is better than 100 million of the wrong people, or seeing it for the wrong reasons. I just said this on another podcast, but most people don't think about it, that like your advertisements rarely go viral. Maybe some Super Bowl commercials or something, but it's not going to be your product pitch. It's going to be a mistake you make, or a bad customer experience, or something funny that happened that is not tied to your product at all. And so it's really hard to monetize. So what I try to do is create sustainable, like a drumbeat of building an audience over time that adds up. That if I just get 10 people a week, a year from now, I'm going to have 500 people listening to me.
So it's like a system.
And that's huge. Yeah. And the system builds on itself. It builds a reputation. And I'm probably going longer than you want me to, but
no,
there is an equation for like trust here, that if you show up week in and week out, it's reliability that increases your customers' like trust in you.
I hear you. I'm just trying to
build your
out...
authority, and then you also, they get to know you authentically over time. So one viral little spike, we have no emotional attachment to you really. But if we see you or you hear us in your ear week after week, we start knowing you and trusting you. And then if you're giving generously, those are the four things that I look for of like, you're interviewing experts, you're creating content, you're sharing thought leadership and giving to the audience. It builds a ton of trust and it builds loyal clients over time.
So in terms of as a service offering in avenue9.com, right? Like I'm trying to work out, like I understand that, but you don't just coach them that, like you help them do things.
Right. So that's what we do. And then how we do it is, I'll interview the founder, the top salesperson, your best clients. I'll collect those stories. And then I use AI systems to repackage them and distribute them on different channels. And it really works. It's fun. It's what I call scalable storytelling. And it builds that trust over time. And
I didn't
whatever
know that.
channel makes sense for your business. But we monitor the channels. We monitor the conversations you're having in your business. And then we create the content that we need to build out the marketing plan.
And you help, you help the small businesses kind of like in the background while they're doing whatever they're doing. You're kind of building that thing in the background.
Yeah, you and I love podcasting, but I work with an IT company that doesn't love that. They don't want to. They're not outgoing. They just go. So I'll talk to their customer success person and say, hey. What dumb things did people do with their technology this week? Like who fell for a phishing attempt? Who got a virus? Who broke something? Who wasted too much money on a product they didn't need? And we'll collect those stories and then we'll turn those into marketing. But it's basically three things. It's the strategy, the story that we're going to tell, and then working out the AI systems to like not make it cumbersome for you. So the marketing automation, the tying the ads together, getting the funnel together and all that stuff.
I can see it now. Now I understand it. And then they have to be at a certain size, I guess, to have a success manager to kind of
usually $1 million or more. If you're a solopreneur under $1 million, you kind of got to figure this out yourself. So you can listen to me and Jeremy and learn and practice.
Amazing. Yeah,
and then if they're over like 30 to 100 million, depending on the industry, they probably have internal teams and stuff. I just do consulting or speaking for those kind of companies.
It may be better training or something like in and out kind of thing, right? Like a one-off engagement. So I think my sweet spot is also the 1 to 5 million, because it's like they're too small to hire an internal person who's a specialist, but they need something to happen. Yeah,
it's more fun too. Really help people grow and make an impact, and you feel like you're making a difference for businesses that matter, and you're helping people stay employed or grow and hire more people, which is great.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm always like working directly with the owner.
At
that size. Yeah, you're working with directly with the owner. You're not dealing with any of the politics.
Once they get to PE firms and investments and stuff, it gets really messy. It just becomes about the numbers and measurements.
For sure. But you've because you've been in the game for so long, and I've spoken to a few people, like they've flipped companies. Like they kind of have to know these things, right? Like you kind of have to know as well. You wrote a book for LinkedIn, everything, right? Like you kind of know these people. You've met these people, right?
Oh, I've definitely done it, and that's why I picked the audience that I have.
Got you. Cool, man. All right, nice one, dude. What else haven't we told the people to sum this up?
Well, you talked about the podcast. If you're listening to the podcast and you made it this far, check out the Human First AI Marketing Podcast anywhere you're watching or listening to this one. But Jeremy mentioned the YouTube channel is great, over 75,000 subscribers there.
Massive.
Show's doing well. It's fun. I talk to an AI or marketing expert every week. And then if I can help you, LinkedIn is my preferred channel, Mike Montague, and reach out. Any questions or anything I can do to help, happy to do it.
Yeah, love it, man. So I will also try to talk to you off air to see what other guests I should be talking to, et cetera, for my show. You know, the interesting people. Cool, amazing.
Happy to pass any along. I've met a lot of great people, and that's one of the best parts of doing a podcast is making friends and meeting cool people doing cool things.
100%. Look, dude, I really appreciate you coming on the show, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What's up, Jeremy Yang, the online ads guy here, owner of Digital Goliath Marketing. If you found whatever you're watching helpful, you found it interesting, like, subscribe, comment, suggest other topics you think we should cover here. We've aimed to release weekly episodes, helping SMEs with marketing, advertising, talking to professionals about growth, processes, all that good stuff. All right, see you on the next one.